Watching France 24, it's time for culture now, and virginity tests and the sale of bodies are two of the hard-hitting topics their audiences face. 5 choreographers from the new generation of South African dance have been performing their socially charged creations at the Instance Dance Festival in Chalon-sur-Saône in eastern France. Well, we've been to meet them.
Take action.
They are committed, militant, they're agitators. They are the new generation of South African choreographers. 5 of them presented their works at France's Instance Dance Festival. Their styles are very different, but they all have one thing in common. They use art as a political weapon. Nelisiwe Xaba presented 2 of her rather caustic works.
All things in time.
Uncles and Angels is about body politics, you know, the invasion of feminine body. Sarkozy says no to the Venus looks at more immigration. It comments a lot on immigration in Europe, how immigration is becoming tougher and tougher.
French audiences discovered the fighting spirit of these women, women in total revolt against rampant violence in South Africa.
These are angry women, women in revolt on one hand and outstanding artists on the other. They are strong. They are exceptional artists, really. It's not a matter of a few exotic performances. These artists can perform anywhere in the world. They are powerful.
In Uncles and Angels, Nelisiwe Xaba uses video to denounce virginity tests inflicted upon young girls of the Zulu tribe. The ancient custom was re-established as a way of combating AIDS.
Congratulations, you've passed your virginity test.
Why do you give such a burden to young girls? You know, because it's about the rest of the society. It's not girls who are promiscuous. You know, it's also men who are promiscuous.
The feminist movement is forging ahead in South Africa. These artists are the torchbearers of the movement, and many women are following in their footsteps.
Yes, interesting dance there on France 24. They're known simply as Barbara. She earned a huge following in the French-speaking world for her melancholic lyrics and melodies. With Jacques Brel and Georges Brassens, she was one of the 3 Bs who rebuilt French chanson against the 1960s onslaught of Anglo-American pop. Now, this week marks 15 years since her death, and France is once again paying tribute to her.
She's best remembered for only ever wearing all black, attire that matched her melancholic songs and haunting performances. The French singer and songwriter known simply as Barbara is a national icon. Her appeal lay in the fact that her songs were personal, yet many recognise themselves in her lyrics.
Unhappiness, loneliness, her childhood. You need to read between the lines, because the songs seem positive at first. Through her songs, she healed her many wounds.
She had many traumas to draw on. Born in Paris in 1930 to a Jewish family, she was forced into hiding during the Nazi occupation of France. Barbara also reportedly suffered sexual abuse at the hands of her father, which is thought to be the theme of her multi-million-selling song L'Aigle Noir. She, however, remained modest about her achievements.
I'm not a poet. I just wrote simply about my simple life as a woman. Everyday life. My dramas, my feelings, my loves, sad and happy.
Her legacy lives on. Barbara is, with Jacques Brel and Georges Brassens, one of the 3 Bs who helped rebuild the French music scene in the 1950s. The inspiration for a whole new generation of French singers and songwriters.
Bit of Barbara for you on France 24. Now, you've heard of the Running Man, but how about the Laughing Man? The Chinese artist Yu Mingjun is best known for his graphic cartoon-style paintings of men frozen in laughter. Dozens of paintings and more than 100 sketches are on display in Paris at the moment. They make up his single largest exhibition and his first major show in Europe.
a star of contemporary art. You may not recognize Yu Minjun, but you've probably seen him laugh. The Chinese artist is best known for this, the laughing man. Frozen in mirth, the contorted figures often leave viewers more unsettled than cheerful.
I find life to be painful, and that society is full of paradoxes and complexities. So I found this way to express tragedy through comedy.
Using a laugh to hide a rebellion, a shrewd strategy from the artist who grew up during China's Cultural Revolution. As a young man, he was profoundly affected by the Tiananmen Square massacre of 1989, and years later offered his own take on student protests.
Many artists, in fact, around that time found themselves saying, there's no more hope. We may as well paint a world according to our own code.
Among his best-known paintings is Execution, which sold in 2007 for nearly 4 million euros, the most expensive work by a modern Chinese artist. But Yu insists his focus is on culture, not politics, and many of his laughing men are self-portraits.
Today, his self-portraits are almost media icons. They're not just paintings, they're images seen around the world. He's a leading figure of the Chinese avant-garde from the 1990s, and those paintings have sold for astronomical prices in recent years.
The exhibit at the Fondation Cartier also includes dozens of personal snapshots on loan from the artist, an intimate glimpse behind one of the world's most famous smiles.
And Yu Minjun's work on display at the Fondation Cartier in Paris until March, in fact. Now, music for you now. He's risen to international acclaim with the hard-hitting social themes of his songs and his tireless battle against political corruption. If you don't know him, Tiken Jah Fakoly, a reggae singer from the Ivory Coast, has been in Paris this week, performing at the Nouveau Casino in Paris just after he received the prestigious Grand Prize for World Music from the French Guild of Artists. Now, here he is singing Plus rien ne m'étonne, which means nothing surprises me anymore. That's it from me. We'll leave you with a little bit of him here on France 24. Here it is.
Rien ne m'étonne,